I have exactly 8 minutes to record this video, so there's no way I'm going to actually do it, but just in case, I'm gonna try. The Fermi Paradox is what we call this idea that mathematically it seems like there probably should be an alien species who's taken over the whole galaxy by now, so why haven't we seen him, if that's the case? Because there's a lot of galaxy, there's very unlikely that we're the first, right? And there are many solutions to the Fermi Paradox. I'm a rare earth man myself, not like rare earth metals, I just think that earths are very uncommon. I'll talk more about that in the future if you'd like me to. I'll talk all about why I think Earth is weirder than we think. But there's a solution to the Fermi Paradox that goes something like this. Why would we assume that everybody else would be like us? Sure, maybe, given how we've behaved, we've taken over the whole Earth. We're even in Antarctica now. Our population, especially in Enrico Fermi's time, was very clearly on an uncontrolled exponential increase. But why would you assume that of other sentient species? We're just one species, and particularly, this is just one culture. It's just one of the many cultures of Earth, and there are other cultures that aren't all exponential like that. And there's something about this Fermi Paradox solution that rubs me the wrong way, because it's basically saying, actually, humans are bad, and that's the solution to the Fermi Paradox. And look, we all know that I'm starting from a place of, I don't think humans are bad. I think that we're really cool. And so, of course, I'm going to look for flaws in this idea. And let me try to restate the idea more clearly. I'm not saying this is a wrong solution. This solution to the Fermi Paradox is, actually, the way that humans are right now is weird and not something that is likely to have occurred. That's the rare thing. The rare thing is our way of being exponential. And so why would we assume that other intelligent species would do the same crazy thing we have done, where we try to always increase exponentially forever? So instead of rare Earth, it's like rare exponentiality. But the problem I have with this is that exponentiality is not rare. Every single living thing will do it if you let them. You give raccoons infinite trash, there will be infinite raccoons. You give oak trees infinite sunlight and air and soil and water, there will be infinite oak trees. You give humans infinite potatoes and cows, there will be infinite humans. There is only one reason human populations have ever stayed stable for a long time, and it's because lots of people died. Specifically, lots of people died before they reached age of maturity. Children dying. That's the reason. That's the only reason. There's never been a human society, until very recently, that naturally held its population in place. That population was kept in check by death and by resource scarcity, which is the case for every animal on Earth, every plant on Earth, every bacterium on Earth. If you give E. coli infinite fuel, there will be infinite E. coli. That's how life works. It is the one thing that evolution necessarily evolves toward, because if a trait allows there to be more trouts, there will be more of that trait in the trout population. That's how evolution works. And we can talk about why this solution might actually be the right solution to the Fermi Paradox. Because look at this graph. Look at it. We're stopping. And we're not doing it on purpose. We are not deciding to decrease the number of babies born. This is happening in America, in Europe, in China, in India. It is happening all over the world. It turns out that maybe if you give an intelligent species enough resources, they will be so intelligent that they will stop doing exponential shit, because they will prioritize over creating the next generation, I don't know, other stuff. Just things are maybe more fun, less stressful. That's actually been a proposed solution to the Fermi Paradox for a long time. That like intelligent species, when given the chance to escape scarcity, are actually like, oh, the pressure is a little bit off now, and maybe we don't need to keep going exponential. And now I have 1 minute left, which means that I can tell you that because of the way evolution works, this may not be a solution to the Fermi Paradox, because what if the only genetic and cultural factors that get passed on in the future are from the parts of the genome and the culture that encourage people to have more babies, and eventually we escape this. I'm not saying that it's something we should try to escape, where the thing holding back our population growth was simply not wanting to have as many kids as we used to. And then again, we get a situation where whatever cultural and genetic traits that encourage the birth of more children are the only cultural and genetic traits that survive. But this isn't actually how cultural traits work. They aren't passed on through birth. You can try and pass them on through stories, and that can work really well. It works really well in a lot of communities. I think the Amish community still has high birth rates. Like, there are communities where birth rates stay high because the culture that they are a part of is staying high. And then like eventually you could imagine that there would just be lots of them. And now I am at negative 1 minute, and I'd love to keep talking about this, but I can't. But I hope that you see what I'm saying, that maybe if there are ways to transmit cultural traits, and there are definitely ways to transmit genetic traits, that you end up in a situation where those traits take over a culture and the genome, and then the population starts to increase again. This is the power of evolution, is that it always drives toward, like, if there is an ability to increase, it drives toward the increase, because if traits don't drive increase, then they aren't passed on. And so maybe it's not a solution to the Fermi Paradox, but maybe it is, and we don't know. And that's the fun thing about talking about the Fermi Paradox. Okay, I gotta go. But now I'm back, and I got a haircut, and I got all the time in the world. That's not true. I have a bit of time. And I wanted to tell you that the Awesome Socks warehouse has too many socks right now, so we always order a few extras just in case, and now we have too many extras, and now we're selling a bunch of mystery socks, which means you don't know what the designs are going to be or the cut is going to be, but you know that it's going to be the right size, and you know that we're going to send them to you, and you know that they're going to be steeply discounted. In fact, with the coupon code Look at This Graph, you can be getting an even more steeply discounted set of mystery socks, and that way we can get them out of the warehouse, and everybody at the warehouse will be happier, and you'll get socks. You need to buy socks anyway, and all the profit from the socks is going to get donated to help build a hospital in West Africa. So, like, why would you do socks any other way? And I wanted to tell you about that at the end of this video, even though I imagine it's not going to be like the most highly viewed video. The Fermi Paradox and Evolution. What did I name it? I tried to give it a title somebody would click on, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be a banger. You never know. YouTube's weird.